What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Each Adventure channel. My name is Josh, and in today's video we're going to take a quick test ride on this Kawasaki KLX300R. So I was fortunate enough to run into this guy the last group ride out at Baldy Mesa, and he was kind enough to let me take his bike for a spin. So I'm going to split this video into two pieces. One's going to be the actual ride, test ride, which is about 4 minutes or so, and then I'm going to provide a little bit of commentary at the end to just kind of talk about my overall perception of the bike. So here we go.
All right, so what's going on? So I met a guy up here at Baldy Mesa. He happened to ride up on a Kawasaki KLX300, the off-road model. And I've been wanting to ride one of these like really bad. And he's like, "Well, you're welcome to ride it." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." I love trail bikes, and when I saw this, I was like, man, like this would be a good bike to have just for riding off-road. Oh, suspension is pretty stiff, actually. Woo! Yeah, but it's got good power. I like it. Keep hitting neutral. The foot pegs are a little weird. Alright, I don't want to take his bike too far, so let's finish up this. And then we'll head back. Oh, this is fun. This thing is awesome. It's funny because it's on paper it's heavier than the TTR, and it's definitely bigger, but it's got that same nimbleness to it, which is yeah, suspension definitely needs some adjustments. I think this thing does have adjustable suspension, if I remember my bike specs correctly. But yeah, I plated one of these. I like it.
Alright, so like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the bike and kind of reflect on that ride and just kind of what I think about it overall. So the KLX300 is a new model for 2020, but Kawasaki did make a KLX300R from 1996 to 2007, and the engine appears to be the same exact engine that was used during that generation. Body style is somewhat different, but the engine looks to be the same and is also the same engine that is used in the KLX300 dual sport model. So the bike is fuel injected and is e-start, so there's no kickstart on it and no carburetor. So that's nice. It's got its pros and cons. Definitely, makes it harder to tune. I don't know about availability for like aftermarket tuners for the fuel system, but overall, it's a trail bike. It's not really a performance bike, so people that are buying these probably aren't as concerned with that. But it is nice on some of the other older trail bikes like my TTR230 that, you can change jetting and open air boxes and all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about getting an aftermarket tuner. So, there's some pros and cons there, but overall, it's not really what this bike is meant for. This bike is really meant for, just getting out, trail riding. Kawasaki brands it as like the ultimate trail bike, and they say that because it kind of fills a niche in the market that's been vacant for a while. So prior to this bike coming out, the largest displacement you could get was, like a TTR230, a CRF 230F. Now they have the 250F, and so this one kind of sits in a class of its own at 300 cc's, which is pretty cool. And then they basically say like it's kind of a cross between a dedicated trail bike and a more performance oriented like motocross bike, or in the case of the kind of riding we usually do, kind of performance oriented dual sport. So that just basically means less maintenance overall, typically less cost, parts are cheaper, things like that. So all those are check marks in favor of the KLX300R. And also, unlike the other trail bikes that I just mentioned, the KLX300R also has adjustable suspension. So it's adjustable for compression in the front, and then the rear shock is also adjustable for compression, rebound, and preload. So none of the other bikes in the trail bike category have that capability, which is super awesome. So I mentioned the suspension. It was a bit harsher than what I was expecting, but the owner did tell me that he had stiffened it up quite a bit, so I'm pretty sure that's where that extra harshness was coming from. I was just expecting it to be a little bit softer, and coming off the beta suspension's quite a bit better than what's found on here, but I was expecting a little bit softer ride. But again, it was nice to have like a level of stiff suspension on a trail bike. It's just not something that I'm used to coming off riding a TTR230. So overall, the KLX300 series of bikes reminds me a lot of like the earlier DRZ400 series of bikes. So what I mean by that is you have a dual sport model that's about 20 or so pounds heavier than the off-road only model, but both bikes share a lot of the same components. So if you're familiar with the DRZ400E and the DRZ400S, the DRZ400E was the off-road only model, and then the S is obviously the street legal model. They don't make the E in the United States anymore, but basically the bikes are essentially the same, other than all the street legal stuff that's on the S. But there's a considerable weight difference, and just it reminds me so much of what we have here with Kawasaki, and I think that's pretty cool because none of the other manufacturers have like a bike lineup like that, where they have a off-road model that's very similar to their dual sport model. A good example of this is Honda's CRF 250L and the CRF 250F. They're not even the same bike. They're not the same engine. They're not the same frame. There's nothing similar about them at all. Same thing with the WR250R and the WR250F. Not the same bike, not even close. So it's pretty cool to see that, because it's something that we haven't seen for quite a while in the motorcycle industry. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this voiceover here, and I hope you enjoyed this commentary on the Kawasaki KLX300R. It's a really cool bike, something definitely unique in the trail bike space. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'm going to provide some final thoughts as I rode away on my beta here, but overall, really impressed. Good job, Kawasaki.
All right, so that KLX300 was super fun. Had to give it back, but overall, definitely, I could see myself riding that for sure. Been around for a while. You guys know I like the small trail bikes, and like that gives it's like that would be the perfect trail bike, because it's got a little bit more power than the TTR, which is definitely helpful, but it still feels like nimble and small. Yeah, it was freaking awesome. I liked it. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out here, even though I'm back on the beta. But anyways, guys, thank you for riding along with me and test riding that KLX300R. Huge shout out to Jeff, I think the guy's name was, for letting me ride it. If he happens to find this channel by chance, thanks for letting me ride your bike. It was awesome. So anyways, guys, until next time, be sure to have fun, take care, and ride safe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, be sure to get out there and have adventures of your own. And I will see you guys next time. Later!
Thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, please let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button. If you are new here, please subscribe to see more adventures just like this one. For information about my riding gear or the various ways you can help support the channel, please check out the links below or head over to www.eachadventure.com. I'll see you in the next one.